Hi, everyone. My name is Chris McMurray.
And I'm Gene.
He's my husband. And welcome back to another episode of Hope from Grief here on our YouTube channel. We're an open book. Hope from Grief came about because one of the major subjects of our book, Live, Laugh, Fly, is the signs that we received from our son Scott after he passed to show us that he was still with us.
Chris, take a second and show everybody the book and where they can get it.
I would love to. Live, Laugh, Fly. It's available on Amazon, and 100% of proceeds will help benefit children's cancer programs.
When we told our story in our book and then again here on YouTube, we began to realize that there had to be a bunch of stories out there just like ours.
So we reached out on social media asking others to share their stories with our audience.
Thanks to everyone who's contributed. We couldn't possibly do this without you. We would like to ask a huge favor of everybody. We are trying to build this channel one subscription at a time.
We have come a long way in almost a year.
We have, but we'd like to reach even more folks.
The whole reason we started our channel was to reach out to those people that are grieving and in pain. We know how hard it can be when your loved one dies.
Grief can be such a lonely place.
hmm
So the more subscriptions and likes that we have, the friendlier the YouTube algorithm becomes and puts our videos in front of more people.
I don't know anything about algorithms. I'm just interested in spreading our message and growing our community.
What we are both asking of you is please like and subscribe to our channel.
We really do appreciate it.
Indeed. Now let's get to today's story. It comes from a dear friend, Leanne from California. And I know you have a very special relationship with both her and her family.
Oh, I do. I have known them for over 50 years, and they are still a very big part of my life today.
Were you surprised when Leanne volunteered to share her story and her experiences with us?
Well, knowing her, I was a bit surprised she was willing to tell it because it is very hard to be open and vulnerable.
These are very intimate feelings.
And I'm so proud of her for doing so because her experience helped her through her personal pain, and now she's ready to help others.
Okay, it's time to read her story. But first, we just want to let you know this. We read all these stories exactly as they come to us because it's your story and your experience, and we want to hear it in your words. So, are you ready?
I sure am.
Go ahead, tell Leanne's story.
I was born in 1970 and am the youngest in a family of seven with two parents and four siblings. My mother died in 1981 when I was 11 years old. My oldest brother died in 1993, and the brother closest to me in age died in 1995. We grew up Catholic, and when my mother died, I was firstly shocked and then became so angry at God and Jesus that I wanted to turn my back on the church. How can they expect us to believe in and follow them when they bring us so much pain and sadness? I kept looking for answers. 12 years after my mother died, my oldest brother died. Then 2 years later, another brother died. At this point, I didn't know who or what to believe in. While these experiences brought me a lot of sadness, anger, and confusion over the years, I came to my own conclusion that unless I gave up on life, there was nothing else to do but accept that each of us has our own purpose and a duty to live our own lives the way we see fit, and when our time is up, it's up. This thinking was the only way I could keep myself out of some deep abyss while ruminating on the question, what is all this for? I moved on with my life, hoping to honor my family in my own way, putting pictures up, talking about fond memories, making a memorial bench, keeping them alive for me. I haven't particularly noticed any signs from my mother or brothers. I think about them a lot and am reminded by music, pictures, and memories that come up from time to time, and these things make me at least imagine that I feel their presence. Over the years, I've thought about seeing a medium or a psychic, but never seriously pursued it due to my skepticism and doubt about finding a legitimate person who wasn't in it for the money. My sister in law had gone to one or two mediums over the years and told me about them. They sounded pretty interesting, but then she went to one who seemed like the real deal. This medium didn't charge any set price for a session. She only asked for a donation. She has a family, her husband works, and this is a gift she wanted to share with those in need. My sister in law went to see her about her own deceased family members, but then the medium brought up something about her husband, my brother, that was random but accurate. She said, "Your husband lost two brothers. One he was able to say goodbye to, but the other he was not. My oldest brother died from a long and drawn out battle with AIDS, and my other brother died suddenly in a fire." How could she know this? My family was not on social media, and if we do check into it, we're not talking about our dead relatives. All of this intrigued me, so I thought, gosh, about 25 years have gone by since my family members passed, and I bet I have a lot of messages. I would like to get them if I can. So I made an appointment with this medium and went to see her. Of course, I was still skeptical, but I had nothing to lose and went with an open mind. The session was held in her makeshift office, which was basically a desk in her living room where her small children had all their toys. The first thing she said when I sat down was, "Who's Jerry?" "Well, Jerry was my mother," I said. She went on, "She's here with us now. She looks like you, but her hair is short. She's seated at a kitchen table drinking coffee and smoking a cigarette. Yep, that's my mother." The medium went on for over an hour, bringing up names of people from my past and present, with my mother commenting on my life, our family, and my friends. She named specific people and their relationship to me and my family. My mother said that she was proud of me for taking my children around the world and that she's protecting us on all our travels. She asked me to contact an old friend in need, which I did. My brother Paul chimed in laughing about another old friend of ours, whom she named, and told me to tell him hello, which I also did. My brother Kenny didn't have much to say, but he was hanging out with Freddie Mercury, so I'm certain he was in a good place. It was like a reunion. I loved it. I didn't want to leave. It made me feel warm and loved and like they've been with me the whole time. The medium also said that they love when we have their pictures up. It keeps them alive and happy. And when I find a penny, it's my mother's penny from heaven, letting me know I am right where I need to be. Whether this is all hogwash or not, I'm choosing to believe it. I feel better for having done it, and that's all that matters to me. Life is short, and I find that if I live with acceptance, hope, and love in my heart and actions, it can actually be easier and certainly more pleasant than dwelling on the pain of my losses.
Leanne, thank you. We appreciate you telling this story about your family. Did it bring back any memories for you?
Oh, yes, of course it did, because I knew them and I love them all. Thank you, Leanne.
In the first part of the story, Leanne found herself angry, resentful, and confused, all familiar emotions for anyone going through such a devastating loss.
In all the stories we talked about in the past, it was from an adult's perspective. Today, Leanne is giving us a glimpse of how a child feels and reacts to loss.
Yeah, when her mom died, she was only 11, and she talks about carrying around those emotions and feelings well into her adulthood. Not only did she lose her mom, but eventually her two beloved brothers as well.
It's no wonder that she was constantly searching for answers and she kept asking, "What is all this for?"
Grief is so lonely and exhausting, but in her struggles, she continually tried to honor those people she lost. Pictures, music, even a bench in Central Park.
And every time we're in New York City, we sit on that bench and we remember them.
It's almost like they're sitting there with us. And although she was reminded of her mom and brothers by music and pictures, she felt she had never received any signs from any of them.
Then she reached a turning point. Her sister in law introduced her to a medium.
She was skeptical at first, and I can definitely identify with that, but she decided to give it a shot.
And I'm so glad she did, because it opened up an understanding of how her departed family is always with her.
It seems this medium had some pretty amazing insights.
I smiled when she said her mom was sitting at the kitchen table drinking coffee and smoking a cigarette. I can picture that.
I didn't even know her, and I can picture it. And her brother actually asked through the medium to get in touch with an old friend and say hello.
She even had their name. And the last thing, it cracked me up that her brother Kenny was in the background hanging out with Freddie Mercury.
I tell you, I never expected Freddie Mercury to show up in this story.
I know, but that is so Kenny.
Hey, let's talk about our reflection on today's episode.
Well, I am so happy that my friend Leanne has found some peace and hope in her grief. Thank you, Leanne, for sharing. I'm so proud of you.
I am struck by the transformation from anger and confusion to peace and hope. It's the common thread that runs through all of these stories that we've told here on the channel.
And this is the power of the signs.
Comfort is found in the most unexpected places. That is why an open mind and heart are so important. So thanks, Leanne.
Yeah, thank you, Leanne. It's such a great story. And we would like to hear from others out there.
If you have a comment or a story you'd like us to read or share here on the channel, you can get in touch with us in a number of ways. First, just leave a message in the comment section below and we'll get back to you. Or
you can get in touch with us through our Facebook page. We're an open book.
Lastly, you can email us at rememberloveneverdies@gmail.com.
And a quick reminder, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and please tell your friends.
Please do that. So I guess there's just one more thing before we leave. You know what that is?
I sure do.
Always remember,
love never dies.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.